this week we're wrapping up this series on Hooked, and we've kind of gone a few different directions throughout this series. We've talked a lot about how we're tempted a lot of times in our lives and how we can deal with those temptations, how we can get out and away from those temptations. We've also looked at how God has called us and Jesus has called us to be fishers of men and what that looks like. And so I want to wrap up this series kind of focusing on what that means for us. What do we do now in our day-to-day? What do we do now in our everyday life to answer this call that Jesus has set before us? What do we do now knowing that there's life and death at stake? What do we do now knowing that there's temptations around us, but that God wants to pull us through, that God wants to make us strong through enduring the trials and the tests that we go through in life? So what do we do with that? So I started thinking about it, and I think we got to realize, number one, that, Jesus is fishing for us, and we also have an enemy that's fishing for us. Jesus is the master caster. He's the pro. Our enemy, Satan, the devil, is the caster of disaster, I like to say, because he brings destruction and disaster into our lives. When we give in to temptations in our life that are things that we know is not where God is trying to pull us, these are things that maybe at first don't seem so bad or so destructive, but ultimately they always end in destruction, because Jesus is bringing us from death to life, while the enemy is bringing us from life to death. It reminded me of when I was a kid. I was probably 10 or 11 or so, maybe a little younger, and I decided that I wanted some fish. I don't know why. I just decided that would be a cool pet to have, and a realistic one that my parents would let me have. So I was like, Dad, I want some fish. I want some fish. I want all these cool fish. So he's like, okay, fine. One day, finally, we went to a pet store or Walmart. Back in the day, Walmart used to have a fish section. Y'all remember that? They used to have a whole wall of that was awesome. I don't think they don't do that anymore, but that was cool. Growing up, we had our Walmart in Houston had a big fish section where you could go all these cool fish, right? So we went and we picked out. I had these little they call them fighting fish, the ones with the colorful little tails. And I had the scum sucker kind of fish that just stuck up on the side with sucking up all the nasty stuff and cleaning it out. A bunch of different fish. It was really cool. And we got an aquarium and all that stuff. We got it all set up, and we had it. It was in my room, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. But after a while, for a kid like me, I got kind of bored just staring at my fish. I wanted them to do something, and I wanted to interact with them. I'm a dog kind of person. I love to touch and feel and pet and hold, right? And so I was just I want to check these. So I started taking the fish out of the tank. I'd get my little net and I'd pull the fish out and I'd be like, oh, it's cool, and I'd touch it and put it back. So I figured it's not a big deal. I can hold my breath for a few seconds, right? So they could hold their breath. I didn't realize that this was a shock to them. And so then I got to the point where I would start imagining, I started building up these little fish Olympics and stuff. And so I was I was pulling them out, doing dives. I was holding them up and dropping them and would see what kind of splash I'd make. And so anyway, needless to say, I killed all my fish very, very soon after having them. One day my dad walked in. He was like, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. He was like, were you getting this fish out? I was like, I was just helping. I was just cleaning it. He was like, no, what are you doing? Do you do this all the time? I was like, sometimes I like to pet them. And I was just making them dive. I'm thinking fish dive out the water and dive all the time. So what's the big deal if me holding it up and that? Kids don't do that. You're going to kill your fish if you have them. So I didn't have fish for very long. They slowly died off one by one, and then my dad did not buy me anymore. And so I realized that I'm not the best keeper of fish. And I was very much bringing those fish from life to death. I was taking them out of their environment and just putting them through all kinds of stuff. And I learned very quickly that you have to be careful with fish. I really didn't have anything to do with anything other than the visual of Steveo as a fish killer. But that's something that's very easy to do, right? So Peter's can start calling me and emailing me now, being allowed to have animals. But so I started thinking about this fish and what that looks like. I was a very bad influence on those fish's life. I brought them to destruction and death, and I apologize for that to all the fish out there. But I started thinking about what it means to fish for us. What does that mean? What do we do? How do we do this without bringing people to a point of destruction and death? How do we be productive parts of people's lives? So I'll think about fish and what that means. I look at it as fish means to focus in our sea of humanity. So we focus in our sea of humanity. How do I fish for men, like Jesus said? How do I bring people from life to death? It starts with our sea of humanity. What is your sea of humanity? Is it your workplace? Is it the people you live with? Is it your family? Is it your friends? You can't necessarily just look at all the people out there in the world, but who has God placed in your life that you are to be an example to, a light to, that you're supposed to be fishing for? We have to first look at that. And the way I look at it too is realizing that Jesus is a team player. Like, he has allowed us to be a part of his team. He didn't necessarily need people to do this. He didn't say, listen guys, I got this, okay? Y'all sit back. I'm going to reach the world. I'm going to do everything. But he allows us to join in with him and be a part of bringing life to a world that is hurting. We can be a part of bringing hope to people who need hope. And in Matthew 4:19, we see this exact invitation. He says to the disciples, he says, who were soon to be disciples, he says, follow me and I will make you fishers of men. So there's his invitation to us to join his team. He's saying, look, follow me and I'll make you fishers of men. Because he is fishing for men and he's allowing us to fish as well. He's allowing us to focus in our sea of humanity. Who are the people that we can influence? There are people that you can reach in your life that I will never reach. There are people that you can reach that your friends and people around you cannot reach. God has placed us in places for a reason and given us the ability to reach those around us to join in on what he is doing. So I think in order to do this successfully, we have to develop some fisheristics, some characteristics of fishermen. And first of all, I see that we've got to be real passionate. Jesus was very passionate about what he did. Luke 19:10 says, for the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost. He came to seek and save the lost. He was very passionate about what he was doing. He had a purpose. Seeking and saving are very active words. You can't passively seek for something. And you don't seek for something that you're not passionate about. When you lose something that's valuable to you, that's when you're passionate about finding it, so you seek it, you look out, you look for it, you move things around, you walk around, you go wherever you need to go to find what you've lost. And that's exactly what Jesus has done for us. He's gone out of his way. He left heaven, came to earth to seek out those who have lost life and lost hope and lost a relationship with him because of the sin that we have in our world. So he came to seek and save the lost. So when he's given us that invitation to join him to be fishers of men, we have to be passionate about the people around us. We have to have a passion about reaching those around us as well. We have to see the need and have a genuine care for hurting people. Second, we have to learn to be real prepared. 1 Peter 3:15 says, but in your hearts revere Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give you the reason for the hope that you have. But do this with gentleness and respect. As we grow in our relationship with God, we have to learn to say, you know what? If someone asks me, if God puts someone in my life for me to reach, how would I do that? And we don't have to have all the answers to life's questions. And that's what I think is daunting for us. We think, I can't do this whole disciple of Jesus thing because I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything I need to know. If someone asks me a question, I'm not going to be able to really give them a confident answer, so I just need to be quiet. But really, we just need to learn, what has God done in our life? What's my story? How has God made an impact in my life? And what is he doing now? Because it's not complete. It's not a complete work yet, and that's okay. The reason why we even set out to do this, we call this church Journey Church, is because we believe in meeting people where they are and inviting them on a journey with Christ. We're not trying to fix people's lives. We're not trying to clean you and change you up and make you something you're different. We're just trying to invite you into a relationship with Jesus so that he can begin a work in you. And you can share right now where you are in your life and your walk with Christ, where you are, and that's going to have an impact on people around you. You can say, look, I don't have all the answers. I'm still kind of messed up a little bit, to be honest with you. But here's what God's been doing in my life so far. That's how we can be prepared to share the hope that we have found. And hope is just that. It's hope. It takes faith to believe and say, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen, but I have hope. I have hope that God's doing something in my life. I have hope that He's mending my relationships. I have hope that He's making me whole. I have hope that He's going to give me peace. I have hope that He's going to ease the pain and the suffering that I have in my life. He's going to answer my questions, and He's going to help me push through the things that I'm going through. I have hope. And that hope can be enough to give someone else hope. To see that you have hope is enough for someone else to say, you know what? Yeah, I need some hope right now too. I don't need answers. I don't need solutions so much. I just need hope that there's going to be an answer, that there's going to be a solution. So we have to become prepared. Third, we have to be real persistent. We have to be real persistent. 2 Timothy 4:5 says, but you should keep a clear mind in every situation. Don't be afraid of suffering for the Lord. Work at telling others the good news and fully carry out the ministry God has given you. Every single one of us has been given a ministry. A ministry is simply sharing what God has done in your life with those around you. What is your part? And being persistent. I was thinking about this, and when I think of persistence, I think of like hard work. I think of just hustling. I think of just being like, those movies you see of people who fail and fail and fail, and time again they get back up and they get back up. And you think, wow, that's so motivating. That person must be so, just so strong. And really, I think persistence has less to do with strength and tenacity, and it has more to do with a lack of pride. I think the enemy to persistence is pride. I think what keeps us from trying again most times is our pride. I don't want people to see me fail, so I'm not going to try again. I don't want people to see me give up, or I don't want people to see me hurting, so I'm just not even going to try. I don't want to put myself out there again, so I'm just not going to try. And it reminds me of back in the day when Steveo was a young, very eligible bachelor on the market, and I went to visit this camp facility, retreat center that I used to live and work at. It's a place that I met Tara, my wife, at, and we had known each other, before. We kind of had met each other there, went to Bible school together there, and so we kind of knew each other, but we were just acquaintances. We weren't like even really friends. We just kind of knew each other a little bit, talked, hung out a little bit. But I moved. I came here to Victoria and had been here for a while. She was still there. She was working there. And then one day my brother had called me. He was like, hey man, there's this thing going on this weekend over there. We should go and hang out. A lot of my friends are going to be there, people that we knew. And I was kind of like, I don't know. I don't really feel like it. He was like, oh, come on, it'll be fun. I want to go, but I don't want to go myself. And so I was like, okay, fine. If you pay for my hotel room and all my food, and then I'll go. And so he was like, okay, fine. And so I was like, okay, cool. So we went, and I saw this little blonde girl there, and I kind of remembered her, but not really. This is just how much of a punk I was. I thought it was something special. And so I knew everyone knew me there, so I expected people to see me and be like, hey, and like the girls would come flocking. So I was already kind of like, all right, let's see, who ladies are going to come hit up to Steveo. And so, and I saw Tara and I talked to her a little bit, and I don't know why. I just, in my mind, while I was there, I was just like, I want to go talk to her again. I just kept talking to her. And then finally, I was just like, I think I want to hang out with this chick. I want to talk to her again after this. And so one day we were just kind of hanging out in the area, and we're talking. I was like, hey, you know what? You should give me your number. That way, if I'm off and I'm coming through town, sometimes I come through here a lot. I'm going to Houston or something. We can hang out. And this is also very odd for me because I didn't do that. I don't know if I'd ever asked a girl for her number before that. It just always organically happened, or they would just give me their number. They just threw it at me. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, fine. But I was just like, I'm going to ask this chick for her number. So I asked her, because I was like, I've seen it on movies plenty of times. I can think of how to ask a girl out for her number. And so I asked her, I was like, yeah, it'd be cool. But then she didn't do anything. I'm sitting there like, woman, I just asked you for your number. Give it to me now. She's like, yeah, that'd be cool. And then we just walked on, and I'm just like, oh my God. And I was a little upset, a little frustrated, and a part of me was just kind of like, whatever, dude, just go. And then even later that day, I was like planning to leave already. I was like, I wanted to go home. I was done. I wanted to leave, but I didn't have this girl's number yet. And part of me wanted to be like, you know what, whatever. I asked for her number. I'm not asking again. She knows. She remembers. Okay, I know she remembers the Steveo asking for her number. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this girl knows. And so like my pride was getting to me, but something inside was just saying, just get over it. Just ask again. Just ask again. It's not a big deal. So I was like, oh, okay, fine. I'll hang her out and see if I can figure out another way of asking again. You know, because that's embarrassing to be like, hey, remember I asked for your number? You want to go ahead and give it to me? I didn't know how to do that. So I kept, but I was persistent. And in that persistence, it wasn't like I was doing anything difficult. It was just, I was not letting my pride get the best of me. So I was like, okay, fine. So I sat around for a little while, hung out, and then we kind of sat around or hang out in her office she had there for a little bit. And I was just like, talking about like gonna leave here soon, trying to throw hints and cues like I'm leaving, like you don't want me to leave without your number, right? And I just my pride would not want to let me ask again. I was like, I don't want to ask again. So finally I got the brilliant idea while we're sitting there just to pull my phone out and kind of mess with it a little bit, to give her a visual cue and reminder. Maybe somehow this woman just has a terrible memory and just forgot the fact that the greatest thing in the world happened to her, and I asked for her number. And so I was like messing with my phone, whatever, kind of, talking, and then just kind of put it down on the desk there in between us, like real slick, and I was like, shoot, this is gonna work. And then sure enough, she's sitting there talking, and then she just reached over, she grabs my phone and looks at it, kind of messes around with it, and then puts it back down, and we're talking, blah, 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 and I kind of not looking at my phone, kind of picking it up, holding it up, looking at them all. And I'm looking at it like, sweet, her number's in there, and I was like, yeah, cool, yeah. Well, I'm gonna hit the road, man. I gotta get going. I want to beat traffic, and I was out of there, right? But like, I got her number because I was persistent, and all it took was me laying down my pride for a moment and being okay putting it back out there because I knew there was something I was going for. And then even later on, I know this is hard to believe, but there came a time in our very early relationship where this girl actually considered possibly breaking up with me. And I know that's hard to believe, but it's true, it happened. And so we're talking on the phone because it's a long distance kind of deal. And so we're sitting there, we're talking, and she starts going into all this stuff. I don't know exactly what she was saying, but I felt this conversation happening. I felt where it was going, the direction it was going. And so bad, inside I could feel it, hear it inside of me saying like, hey, I don't want to be with someone that doesn't want to be with me. Like, forget that, just move on, like, get back on, hey, sweet, you're single again, find someone else. But like, my pride was getting to me because she was already and then finally I just told her, I was like, well, I don't think we should break up. I mean, we can figure this out, right? I was persistent in making the relationship work. And it's the same thing with God. God is working in us, and we have to be persistent in seeking Him. We have to be persistent in following Him. We have to be persistent even in sharing the gospel. So many times we don't want to share what God's doing in our life because we're afraid of the judgment we might receive. Well, I don't want to talk about this because people around me are not going to get it. They're going to make fun of me. They're going to think differently of me. And so our pride gets the best of us and keeps us from being persistent. And in doing that, we're allowing people around us to live without the hope that we found. We're denying them the grace and the hope that we have. We want God to have grace on us. We want Jesus to be forgiving of us and show us how to live our life, but we're denying that to those around us because we're too proud to be persistent in reaching them. Fishing for men, it's not about being perfect, it's just about being persistent. Can I lay my pride down long enough? And Jesus didn't catch everyone. Not everyone who Jesus Himself in full God and full man form on earth reached out to people, and not everyone accepted it. He fished for people, and some people were like, that's not for me. A rich young ruler came up to him, and he left disappointed. And Jesus didn't let that keep him from still reaching out. He just said, you know what? I'm throwing it out there. It's their choice. And that's what we have to do as well. Some people aren't going to bite right away. Some people aren't going to understand right away. But God can still work in them. And last, we have to have real partnership. We have to be willing to do what it takes without compromising. We partner with each other. We partner with our church. We partner with Christ. And we also have to realize, like, it's through that partnership that we see this happen. The first thing that Jesus told people as disciples was to fish. The last thing he told his disciples before he left earth was to fish. His first invitation was, follow me, I will make you a fisher of men. Remember back in Matthew 4:19, he said, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. That's his first teaching and invitation to disciples, to followers of him. Follow me, I will make you fishers of men. Before he leaves, he says, go out to all the world and preach the gospel, baptized in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. So he says, fish. First he says, follow. Then he says, fish. We got to understand, we don't have to have all the answers. We just have to be willing to follow. Once we follow him, he'll make you a fisher of men. You don't have to have all the answers and have your life figured out. You just have to follow him, and he'll give you peace. Follow him, and he'll make you new. You fish, he catches. We don't change lives, Jesus changes lives. In the same way that we do that, we don't fix our life. We follow, he makes new. We follow him, he cleans us up. We follow him, he gives us wisdom. We follow him, he gives us peace. We follow him, he forgives. We don't have to fix our lives to be accepted by Christ. We just have to be willing to follow him. He'll make you new. He'll mend relationships. He'll mend a broken heart. He'll give you peace. He'll give you guidance. He'll give you wisdom. He'll answer your questions. He'll grow you in wisdom. He'll grow you in your relationship. He'll help you reach people around you. You just have to be willing to follow. So as we wrap up this series, that's the question Jesus is inviting all of us to do, to follow him. Are we willing to follow him? Are we going to do like Peter and so many others and just drop what we've got going on and say, you know what, Jesus, I'm going to follow you. I don't know what this is going to take me exactly. I don't know what tomorrow looks like. I don't know if this is going to affect areas of my life or not, but I'm going to follow you. I'm going to put that stuff down. I'm going to follow you. And I'm going to allow you and trust you to do what you want to do in my life. If you begin to change my heart, change my mind about things, that's fine. You'll have to do that in your way and in your time. But I'm going to follow you. That's the invitation that we have. That's the only invitation we ever have to give to people is like, hey man, I'm following Jesus. I think you should too. I don't have all the answers, but he does. And he's leading me and he's guiding me. And I know that he's got something good for me, and I know that he's doing something new in me. I just got to trust him enough to follow him. And that's the invitation that we have today. Are we going to be hooked with Jesus? All that means is, are we going to follow him? Are we going to allow him to reel us to the life that he has for us? Let's pray. Father, we thank you. We thank you for not giving up on us, for giving us a hope, for giving us a future. Jesus, we believe that you're the answer. We believe that you're the Son of God. We believe that you're our Savior. We believe that you want nothing but good things for us. So help us to answer the call. Help us to answer your invitation to follow you. And maybe you're here now, or maybe you're watching this or listening to this, and you say, you know, Steve, I've never really answered that invitation. I've never felt like I committed and said, Jesus, I'm going to follow you. That invitation is open to you today, and I encourage you to take the invitation. I know you don't have all the answers. I know you don't know what exactly that means for your life and how that's going to change things and how that might change you. But I know that if you will trust him, he's going to lead you to true, fulfilling life. Because it's what he does. It is who he is. And the way you answer that invitation is simply through a prayer. It's a simple prayer. It's not a set of magic words. It's just your heart recognizing the call, recognizing the invitation, and answering. And in your heart, you can pray something similar to this. You can say, Jesus, I know I'm a sinner. I know that means I'm just not perfect. I know I make mistakes. I know I'm not worthy of a perfect God and a perfect heaven. But Jesus, I believe that you're a Savior. I believe that you left heaven to come to earth, and you died on a cross to pay for my sin. So Jesus, I trust you now. Be my Savior. Be my Lord. I want to follow you. Wherever that leads me, whatever that looks like, Jesus, I choose to follow you. Jesus, give me faith and persistence and courage to follow you every day. Help my unbelief. Help my doubt. Show me who you want me to be, and I'll trust you. Jesus, all of us have a next step. Help us all to trust you more today. Help us to follow you closer today. And help us to start seeing those around us and offering that same hope to them that you've given us. And we thank you for that. We thank you for all that you're doing in our lives and all that you're continuing to do. In Jesus' name, amen.